Okay, guys, I'm coming, and today is a wonderful day. You know why it's wonderful? Let me tell you. I got a Starbucks. I remember to put pants on today. I start my day off right. The sun is shining. The birds are singing. Well, probably not here. It's kind of wet, rainy, miserable, dreary here in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania, just a little bit away from Pittsburgh. That's funny. They say Seattle's a rainy city, but yeah, it feels like there's more rain here a lot of times. So hopefully, wherever you guys are watching this video, or well, whenever you're watching this video, it is sunny, it is shining, and I couldn't care less wearing pants or not because I don't have to see it. So, so a couple big things, and kind of adds to the wonderfulness of today is September 2nd. You're probably seeing this on September 3rd, more than likely, when we upload and share this video. Wizards has made an announcement that they have a plan. They have a big plan coming out for 2021. They've announced the 6 sets that are going to be coming out, 4 of them going right into Standard, and 2 that are not. So the first one coming out is going to be called Heim. Now, when you hear Heim at the end of anything, that should be a clue to you guys that they're going to be focusing on like Norse mythology. So like Thor, Odin, Loki, Hela, all of them. They probably won't have like an actual Thor card, but at least not like in the set itself. It might be like a Godzilla type thing if I were to take a guess and make a prediction. Then after that, they'll be doing a remastered set of Time Spiral. So for a person who didn't get to enjoy Time Spiral or Time Shifted, because that's a little bit out of my time of actually buying cards and playing with the set, that's going to be kind of a cool thing to see. They're going to be using their old style borders, and they're going to be putting the old school frames, I should correct myself, and then they're going to be putting a black border on the cards. So a lot of people seem to be pretty excited about that on the Twitters. Then the next standard set would be Strixhaven, which seems to be like a Harry Potter themed set, followed by D&D Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. This is not the first time that they've incorporated D&D. The first time that I can remember them very much alluding to D&D was during CashboCon, I think 2017, I want to say, when they came out with the Sword of Dungeons and Dragons, and then they remade that in Unhinged or Unstable. Sorry, they did Unstable. I always get the unsets all goofed up. Then they came out with a Bag of Holding, I think in Core 20, either 19 or 20, let's say 20. Let's pretend I'm right on that. If I'm wrong, please be sure to let me know in the comments. They also did a D&D campaign set on Ravnica just about 2 years ago. So obviously they were trying to intermingle some of their properties that they own. They own both Dungeons and Dragons and Magic. Then after that, our next supplemental product will be Modern Horizons 2, where they have announced that they will be doing enemy fetch lands, which they had just reprinted in the Secret Lair, which I'm going to touch on that just a little bit. I'm not sure my thoughts on Secret Lair in general. By the way, this video I'm not going to be opening anything. Obviously, I don't have anything right here to open. So I'm going to be talking about my thoughts, not just on their plan, but some supplemental products and their impact on the game itself. And that moves into the last thing for Q4 that they'll be coming out with for all you Vampire Diaries fans and Twilight fans. They're going to be doing Return to Innistrad. They're going to be doing 2 different sets in one. They're going to do vampires and werewolves. So a very interesting thing. So they obviously are making some pretty big moves. They're going back to a plane that we're familiar with. We've just gotten out of it a couple years ago with Shadows over Innistrad and Eldritch Moon, of course. And I forget when the first Innistrad came out, but that was exported during After Restored and Dark Ascension as well. And I've always really enjoyed Innistrad because I've always liked the Eldritch Horror thing. I've always liked vampires and werewolves. Not enough to watch Twilight or anything, but I have watched all Vampire Diaries and the originals, and I'm currently binge watching Legacies. I can thank my fiance for that. But I'm looking at this lineup here, Kaldheim, Strixhaven, D&D, Innistrad, and I kind of have to wonder if maybe they're running out of ideas, which is kind of a weird thing to think about. Which has been pumping out Magic since 1993, so we're going on, well, this will be year 28 that they've been pumping out product, and the fact that they have to rely on other pop culture kind of concerns me. I mean, when you have to kind of bank on or piggyback off of the success of the Thor and Avengers movies, where people before didn't really think that much about Norse mythology as much. They're kind of piggybacking off of that when they're hitting up the Harry Potter world in a way, when they're really engulfing themselves in Dungeons and Dragons, when they're going back to a pretty popular play in Innistrad. It kind of makes you wonder if they're just running out of steam in terms of their design space. Because Kaldheim is a brand new plane or realm, whatever you want to call it. I think that kind of opens more possibilities, that they can design new mechanics or introduce some new characters. I think that'd be in itself pretty cool. But it again seems kind of like them banking on really the success of Thor and things like that, and obviously Strixhaven being straight up just a rip on Harry Potter. Just seems like they're again banking on other pop cultures. So I mean, if nothing else, I mean, 28 years of being a very relevant, being the world's most played tabletop game. I mean, I think it's remarkable, and eventually you're going to run out of things to do. I'm actually very not concerned. I want to fix that. I'm very intrigued and interested to see what they do with Kaldheim in the sense of it's going to be a top-down set or a bottom-up set. I mean, you've heard me and Bob talk about before on this channel, where we talk about the difference between the two. So I think if they say, here's the theme, and we're going to build from that, or if they're going to take cards and then build up, I really don't know how they're going to handle it. And I really don't like them doing enemy fetches in Modern Horizons 2. I don't have a problem with them doing enemy fetches. I think that should have been maybe reserved for another master set or maybe another supplemental product. Like a Battle Bond 2. Well, not even Battle Bond 2 because I'd have the same inherent problem with it. I just feel like Modern Horizons 1, I mean, you can't have 10 lands in the same set. You know, you can't have your allied and your enemy land cycles in the same set. It gets a little crowded, convoluted, and kind of just throws off the whole theme of what you're trying to do when you only have about 250 to 300 cards in a set. I feel like it's incomplete in the sense that we haven't gotten a chance to do the allied land cycle that they started in Modern Horizons 1. So nothing else that does tell me that there are plans to do those in another product, possibly in Modern Horizons 3 or another set. So I think enemy fetches, as much as they maybe need a reprint that the masses can easily get their hands on, I think that should have been put in another supplemental product like a Masters set. If they do Double Masters 2, or if they did Modern Masters 2020, whatever year they want to do another Masters set. So I was kind of thrown off by that inclusion. I know that they want to get people maybe hyped up for it, and they're trying to get people interested in it now. So it's in the back of their mind and they're thinking about it. But I was kind of concerned about that decision. And they've announced 6 so far. I mean, it's very early in the game. I mean, the fiscal year hasn't even started yet for 2021. So they have laid out 6 different sets they're going to be doing, 4 of which are going to be standard, which I don't think that's going to change. But I'm half wondering if they're going to be doing more product that they're going to announce sort of kind of last minute. Like if they did a Jumpstart 2 or a Battle Bond 2 type set, or another Double Masters type thing. And it's not to mention all the Commander product and all the like deck builders toolkits and things like that just come out naturally anyways. So I think with a thing like Magic, I think that less ends up being more. I think that their business model, historically, since they've been taken over by Hasbro not too long ago, has been, if we pump out more product, then people are going to spend more money. But if I personally say I had a budget of, to say, $5,000 a year, I mean, that's just a number I'm pulling out of thin air. If I had a budget of $5,000 a year that I had as a player to spend on product, that number's not going to just go up because there's more things to buy. What's going to happen is, instead of spending, let's say, $1,250 per standard set, I now have to reallocate money to pump into other products, and then I have to pick and choose which ones I'm interested in. So instead of saying, okay, I'm going to put $1,250 towards Coldheim, $1,250 towards Strixhaven, so on and so forth, I now have to say, okay, I might have to put $750 into Coldheim and put $500 in Time Spiral and $600 in Strixhaven and this much money in Modern Horizons 2. Or, oh, and Innistrad is going to be two different sets, really. I need to have to reallocate funds there too. Because people just don't just inherently just have more money to spend on things. They just have to reinvest and choose where they're going to put their money. So I think that's kind of a little bit of a problem that they've kind of created for themselves. And I think because they've been pumping out more product, that it gets a little overwhelming for a lot of players. And especially in this economic climate where there's 25% of people have lost their jobs because of the shutdown due to COVID. I just don't think that more is always necessarily better. Disposable income is a lot harder to come by these days, and I think that they may have needed to maybe reel back in and adapt accordingly. And to a broader point is, if they continue to pump out more product, and yes, I get hype and excitement and wanting to come out with as many different things, so you have these cool ideas and this and the other, which, okay, that's fine. But you spend more time coming out with more ideas compared to fine-tuning the ones that are going to be put in place. And I think that's how you see examples of like Ikoria, where a brand new mechanic gets watered down relatively quickly, or soon after release. And you see a lot of cards, I mean, a handful of cards were banned before the set even had shelves in stores. And that tells me that they were, and again, I knocked this multiple times in other videos when I talk about Ikoria in particular, but the thing I wrote and touched on is, I think that instead of me just bashing R&D, this may be where I was wrong, is that they're spread kind of thin, where they're worrying about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different sets compared to spending all their time and energy into one or two. And I think that's where things get a little bit hairy, and I think that's what drives people away from standard. I think a combination of that and not wanting to invest money into tangible product that you can't play with because it got watered down or it got banned, so you open something and you already know there's a 1x chance you open something like hot garbage. That's just the gamble you take when you open packs or open a full booster box. But when there's like a 30 or 40% chance you're opening something you can't even play with, like not even like in a joking casual format, but you just can't play with it because it's banned. I think that drives people away, and not to mention the fact that everything got shut down. People can't use their physical product and store the way they're accustomed to doing so, and I think you're going to run into those issues. But while I'm looking at the lineup again, I'm happy to see them coming out with a new plan with Coldheim. I'm going to say what it is. I think it is them piggybacking off of Norse mythology, or Norse mythology, and them piggyback out their success and everything with the Thor movies and Avengers Endgame and Loki and all those characters. I think that they're kind of banking on that and riding that wave. Harry Potter is something that's not really going away anytime soon, even though the books have been done for a pretty long time now. They still have, outside of the movies, there's still a lot of people in my generation who is still big up a very strong fandom. But again, I feel like it's piggybacking off of a pop culture phenomenon. And then again, going with the D&D thing, I think it's them maybe trying to get some cross merchandising to steal some retail lingo there. Trying to get two different groups interested at the same time and I can see the marketing potential of it. I can see that they're trying to say, okay, well, if we get D&D integrated fully into this game, theoretically, if you like D&D, you're going to love Magic, and if you like Magic, you should theoretically enjoy D&D. And I get that line of thinking. So this might be their way of tapping into a market that they already have complete ownership over, and trying to get more people who play D&D to spend money on their card game product, and people who play Magic into D&D, because they can see how theoretically cool it is, and say, okay, well, even my favorite card game is going heavy into Dungeons and Dragons, and maybe I should pick up some handbooks and some storybooks and get a group going. So I can see where they're going with it. I can see the cross merchandising opportunity. I don't think it's a terrible idea. But like I said, the one thing that concerns me is the enemy fetch land thing, and I kind of side noted Secret Lair, and it's going to bring me to this part of the video. Is them coming out of Secret Lair. I have virtually no problem with it. I touched on that in a previous video when I did the Ask Me Anything, which was a 2-part mini-series. I don't have a problem with Secret Lair. I do have a problem with them changing the price and moving the goalposts. I just don't see the tangible benefit of doing that. I mean, you're not going to gain any more customer loyalty by doing that. It's like I say in the store constantly with my customers and people who work with me here is, if you take care of the issue and are just honest and forthright from the beginning, everything takes care of itself. And if you make a mistake, that's fine. Just do what you have to do and make up for it. I think Wizards coming out and saying, well, we don't necessarily agree with or believe in the secondary market. I forget the exact phrasing of it, so I might be misquoting that, but the point still is going to remain, is that if they basically don't regard the secondary market the same way that stores do or individual players do, that's fine. That's their prerogative. That's part of their business model, and I get it. But when you come out and say, here's the first X number of, excuse me, Secret Lairs, they're going to be 5 cards each, $30, $6 per card, whatever, and we're going to do some cool art with it. That's going to be thematic. I think that's awesome. I have no problem with that. I think they can do whatever they want with that. The problem is when you set the bar here, and then you move it after making a very bold statement in regards to the secondary market, and you base your product MSRP based on the secondary market price that you see through Card Kingdom or through TCG. I think that sets a terrible precedent, because you're going against a precedent that has already been set. I think them coming out of the Secret Lairs for fetch lands and saying, oh, well, here's 5 cards, which costs us the same amount of money to print 5 cards, regardless if they're 5 garbage cards or 5 amazing cards or whatever. They decide to print 5 cards to them. It costs the same amount of money to do it. And you're going to increase the price by upwards of 1,000%. I think this comes across very much like a money grab. And a lot of people have seen through that and completely understand that to be the case. So I personally am not on board with that. I'm glad to see them getting a full reprint and another set, which wasn't the Modern Horizons 2, because I feel it was like the first set of lands would be incomplete at that point. But I think them coming out in Secret Lair, where it's like a 1 in 3,000 chance of getting one, I think was a pretty big mistake on their part. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this video. Like I said, a lot of things to be excited about. I'm sure this list is going to go from 6 to probably 8 or 9, because I anticipate 2021 is going to be vastly different than 2020, which I'm, fingers crossed, masks on, hopeful that's going to happen. And I think they maybe overpumped product in 2020. They might slow it down to let people recover, or they might see it as an opportunity if people go back to work, things are looking great, things are looking up. let's put more products in, people will theoretically have more money available. So I can see it going either way. I'm personally going to be, not that I'm actually betting on this or making wagers, but if I were to make a wager or bet on it, I would assume that would be the latter, where they're going to be pumping out more product than they've originally announced. There might be probably 2 or 3 more surprise sets. They might come out with another unset, maybe another Jumpstart, another Battle Bond, who knows. But either way, when more announcements come, be sure to check this channel, as we will share those announcements with you, and also my immediate thoughts on them, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. I'll be sharing those with you, hopefully with a coffee, and most importantly, hopefully with pants on, because that'd be for another type of website. Anyway, I'll see you next time, guys. I know it's going to take a while for me to get to the camera to turn it off. And okay. Oh, yeah. We don't have anything legendary, but thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and pushing the button. Bye.